Alright guys, what is up? It is Gnomes. I'm here in a game between SongTungvn and Joa. SongTungvn obviously on the top hand side playing Iron Fist Stronghold and Joa playing Kather Forest. It looks like it is going to be fairies versus barbarians. Let's see. So in the mid font we have so far the Corgi Knight, the Nectar Fairy, and the Wisp versus Northern Cross Priestess and the Zedden. I don't know how this cross, I mean, I just joined the game as well. I don't know why or how this cross priestess seemed to have gotten very far forwards. Generally, when you're playing, it's very, intuitive. You always want your ranged in the back. I remember back in the day, I played this game called, what was it called? It was called Medieval 2 Total War. That's what the game was called. And how you played that game is you have these, giant armies of knights and archers, and basically you're playing this game where you have all these characters that are like medieval fighting against each other. And there you kind of have the same idea where you want your front line. In that case, it was like these knights, it was these spearmen. Often it was, or what I love to do as well, was pikemen. You would put pikemen in the front, and in the back you would have archers or crossbowmen. And that's because they would then shoot over the pikemen, and your pikemen can just hold the pike forwards, and you can't really get to them without taking massive casualties. And while you're trying to get through the pikemen, which are these extremely strong defensive characters, you would have then the archers just wailing away, raining down hell on your enemies. And that's the same case in basically all games. You want the ranged champions in the back. You want the ranged champions because obviously ranged champions are typically weaker against melee, and that is the same here. We have this very squishy 44 health, 0 defense cross priestess, and she seems to be in the way front, and I have no idea why. Now we have Zedden here. It looks like he wants to deal with the Corgi Knight. Obviously the Corgi Knight is on the Hunter, so here we have this Knight, a very fast champion, in on the range, and that's a good play by Joa. But we do see this mobility kicking in, which does allow the Zedden to kind of run over there in order to help. Now we have the mobility on the Huntress as well. We do also have Invigorate if he wants to use it. 1, 2. No, puts Evasive on the Huntress actually. Doesn't really stop him from dying though, because he's in melee range, and he can get into melee range if he wants. We're actually gonna have the Fascinate go off, aren't we? Yeah, Fascinate will move the Huntress this way, which does that put him out of attack range from the Corgi Knight actually? I'm not sure. Interesting is this Barricade. Barricade is a pretty cool spell. Was kind of actually popularized by SongTungvn, where it creates this. Now you're in double. Actually, no, he has 5 speed, so I guess he won't be double tapped no matter what. Yeah, he's actually kind of blocked. Not really. This Barricade, gets into the font with the Corgi Ranger. The Barricade allows for this defensive structure. For in this case, it's defending this herder. Whereas you can also use it as an offensive, kind of like, hey, you can't retreat anymore idea as well. It's very cool. And I never saw Barricade used until SongTungvn popularized it. I wonder if I could ever play it in one of my Draxar, my brute battle groups. Not really. I think that IS actually has some really great spells and equips and whatnot, so it's very hard to put in. I think if you're full IS, you can do it rather easily. Like, it's okay. But when you're playing a split battle group where you have so much to choose from for only 15 equips, it might be even harder then. Let me see. IS Brutes Draxar. Maybe for like a Gravity Flux. I wonder if Barricade is ever better than Gravity Flux, maybe? Because they kind of fill the same role, right? Not a bad idea. We'll try it. Yeah, they're both only 35 Nora. Might as well. Sure. You can kind of defend your ranged champions or block them in, like I said. And because you have the Demolish, you can, like, whenever you want to move out, you can just demolish and then move in. So that's why it's also cool. So there's the kill, actually, on that Huntress. Gets the kill. You can get the Nora Globe with the Wisp if he likes. Has Magic Eater. Not that, yeah, neither of these are magic damage, but still the one with Nora will work because these are both physical attack types, so that won't really be very good. We have attack electricity here, I guess. So attack electricity would work on the Wisp. But other than that, he's doing fine. Somehow this champion is actually ensnared. I didn't see how that happened. Yeah, but this should be game. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about SongTungvn that we see over and over again, which he always misplays, is that he just plays spell after spell after spell, and he stops deploying. And I've said this, to be honest, you know, surprisingly, it's a very IS thing to do. I see so many IS players do this, surprisingly. Ooh, there's the escape magic, causing the Corgi to survive. And we do have this healing in the back with the Nectar Fairy, so it's actually a pretty good play as well. But yeah, both, I remember back in the day, Nora that would also just always play spells and equipment and relics and would not deploy. And it's something that SongTungvn does as well. The only person who does that and actually wins though and does it well is Markoth. Markoth does that as well. A lot of IS players seem to do that. They just like play 4 champions and they just stop deploying. Anyway, GG.